Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Today's video is going to be random spin the wheel generator chooses what colour books I read for a week. Bit of a mouthful, bit of a mouthful. So I am pre-filming this intro at home, but I will be doing the video at uni because the reason for this video is when I moved into my uni room, I don't have any bookshelves. A book lover's worst nightmare. But I basically don't have any bookshelves, and my sister colour organised all of my TBR books, and she's like done them in like rainbow of the colours of the spines. So they're all like that stacked up in my room, and they're just the most gorgeous colourful stacks ever. And that has fully inspired me to let a random generator pick what colour books I read for a week, because they're all like presented to me in rainbow fashion, and I feel like it'd be super fun to see what colour I get, what books that means I have to read, just that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is, when I fast forward to starting this video, this challenge, I'm going to be spinning the generator. I'm going to put all the colours that I have of the spines in my room, and I'm going to spin the generator, and whatever colour it lands on, I'm going to pick a book from that little section of colours and read a book of that colour. So if I spin and I get blue, then I'll read a blue book and I'll choose a blue book. I think I'm going to aim for 2 to 3 books for this challenge. We're definitely gonna maybe spin 3 times, and then we'll see if I get to the third one. Obviously I am back at uni now. That means I don't have as much time to read. It's literally the horror I know. But yeah, I don't have as much time to read, so we're gonna aim for 3, but it's probably gonna be more like 2. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I'm so excited to do this video. I'm so excited to film this video. I love the colourful stacks in my room. You'll see them in a little bit. And yeah, I just think it's going to be super fun to have something choose the colour of my book. I've not really ever done something like this before. I think it's really fun. And I'm kind of hoping that I get some bright colours. I'm in a colourful mood right now. I hope that you enjoy this video. Without further ado, let's fast forward and get on with the challenge. Okay, so these are the colour stacks. So this is the white to yellow to orange to pink to red situation we've got. So we've got some good ones on here. I feel like this one's the prettier one because it's so bright and it's so gorgeous. And then this is the darker side. So we've got black to kind of like orangey tones, like, and reddy tones, like just in the spines. And then we've got sort of blue, a random light blue one, and then purple. This one's kind of a bit like more just dark colours rather than an actual theme like that one, but still, she's still cute. So these are what we're working with. These are both of the TBR piles, and these are all the books that I have not read yet. Okay, so we're going to spin the wheel. We're going to see what we get. I think I'm going to spin 3 times, but I don't know if I will get round to all 3, but it's just nice to have the options, you know? So here's my little wheel. We're going to press spin. I kind of want red. I feel like red's like in my mind. Okay, light green. Not red at all. I don't actually have a light green. I technically do. Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Let's spin again. Going through for a 3. Okay, pink. We have quite a few pink options. That's perfect. And we're going to spin one more time just because, why not? Red, question mark? Okay, honey. So basically orange. So we've got light green, pink, and orange. Interesting. Honestly, I can work with all 3 of those. So I'm going to go have a little peruse of the stacks, and then I'm going to pick out which ones for each colour I'm thinking are going to be the options. Okay, so here are our 3 options. So for light green, the only green colour I have on the stack is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. This one only has like half green, but it still counts. I feel like it still counts. So we've got like the half green here. This is genuinely like up there with a strong contender because I feel like everyone knows what this is about. Everyone knows like everyone rates it so highly, and everyone says like it's like their all-time favourite book, or it got them into reading, or they just love it so much and they hold it to such a high regard. So I feel like it's about time that I give this one a go, because I'm very late to this train, I'm very late to this trend, and I feel like I need to give it a go. This is like the new cover, which I really like. It's really pretty. So this is what we're going to use for light green. This one is basically, I think like if you've read Meet Me at the Lake or Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, I've heard this is very similar, and it's kind of like a friends to lovers. It flicks from past to present timeline. These two people have known each other since they were kids, and they've grown up together as like best friends, and then something went wrong, and then ... I think that's kind of like the general gist of it. So that sounds really fun. Sounds like a good, quick, easy, cutesy read. And then for pink, I've got How to End a Love Story by Yulin Kwang. This one is written by, I think, the screenwriter for one of Emily Henry's upcoming films, which is really, really cool. And I'm very interested to see kind of like how her writing in a book is, you know, like if she is writing for Emily Henry, then how is her writing going to be? Because I love Emily Henry, so I'm sure I'm going to love this book. I've heard great things. I really like the cover. So this is like the pink one I chose. I feel like it suits. It's quite like a dark pink, but I've wanted to read this one for quite a while now, so I'm very interested to see. I think it's about a screenwriter and a best-selling author, and I think they make some kind of like pact or deal to both get like what they want, and I think it's maybe a second chance. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's sort of what it's about. And then for orange or honey, I picked All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. All of the kind of orange books on my TBR are quite like bright orange, so we're just working with that. But this one has been on there for quite a while now, and I've only ever read one Mariana Zapata book, and that was From Luke Off With Love. So I'm very interested to see how All Roads Lead Here is, because it is a small town and I love a small town romance. Like, that is just me to a T. So I feel like I will like this one. And it's also, I think, age gap. She kind of moves to like this small town and he's her landlord, I think. Maybe he's a single dad as well. Might have made that up, but very, very, very much a slow burn. Her books are always so chunky because they're that much of a slow burn, and I'm kind of in the mood for that right now. But like I said, I don't know if I'm going to get to all three, because we do have, you know, 3 books here, and this kind of looks like quite a lot, so we'll just see. I'm going to pick up which ones I feel this week, and yeah, this is going to be a spoiler-free reading vlog. These are the books. We've got orange, green and pink, which is also cute. I feel like these are such nice colours. They all go really well together. Started How to End a Love Story, and so far it's definitely not what I expected. It's like a lot different. I honestly thought it was going to be kind of like a cheesy rom-com vibe, but it feels quite deep and quite raw. So we're basically following our main character, and she is kind of dealing with grief. She has a new job. She's an author, and she's moved out to LA to like make her book series a TV show, which is super cool. And then we have our other main guy, and he's linked to her. You'll find out at the beginning. Something very, very like deep links them two together. Our male main character is also working on the same TV show as our female main character, so they're kind of like thrown back into the same world, the same life, when they don't really want to be. So we're kind of having like, they very much don't like each other, and they're trying to build this friendship, which is quite a unique way to like start a romance, because these characters, like, they do not know each other, they do not like each other, they do not have a good history, and they basically are trying to build a friendship. But the way that it's written, it's very much like, then he said this, then she felt this, then he did this, and it's very much like straight, like short, snappy sentences, very like to the point, which is kind of like, it took me a bit to get used to. And it's also told in third person, so we're like flicking like within the same page from knowing about him to her to him to her to him to her, which
now I quite like, and I am really enjoying the story. I'm feeling very connected to the characters. I feel like the main female character is very relatable in a lot of ways, and I like that it's not just your typical rom-com story. It feels very raw, it feels very real, it feels very like deep, and I'm really loving it. Like, I've not wanted to put it down. I'm kind of very invested in the story, and I'm very invested in the characters, and I think that like it's nice to see them building this friendship from scratch from a very unique place. So I would say this is like a very unique story, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So the colour wheel chose this one really well, chose pink really well. I'm loving it so far. I'm currently on page 150. I've just looked, and what have I done? That's actually ruined my day. Also, I'm currently at the park right now because the October autumn vibes are giving me like cute cozy vibes to like sit in the park with all the like orange brown leaves, and it's really nice to just sit and read under a tree. But I feel like a squirrel is just gonna like run down my back or something. I'm scared.
I finished this and I'm gonna rate it a solid 4.5. A 4.5 out of 5 stars. Okay, so this is update time because I actually did forget. No, I didn't forget, what am I saying? When I went to talk earlier about this book, I realised, hold on a second, I do not have chance or time right now to sit and chat about the book, and I don't want to like rush through my review and then not say everything I need to say, so I just quickly paused it, said my rating, and then dashed. So I have finished the first book of the video, which I got pink, so I picked How to End a Love Story, and rated it 4.5 stars. This was not what I expected at all. Like, I went into this book thinking, oh, it's like probably gonna be sort of like a rom-com cheesy vibe, you know, How to End a Love Story. Like, we're just gonna, I don't even know, we're gonna like, it's gonna be two people figuring out how they're gonna like how to lose a guy in 10 days kind of vibes. That's what I was kind of imagining. And then I started reading it and I was like, oh, this is literally the opposite of everything I expected. This is like super deep, it feels super raw, and it feels super real. Like, if I was to compare it to something, which by the way, they are not similar in the slightest, but if I was just to compare it to the same kind of like sort of wavelength, I would say it gives off like a more romancy version of Normal People, in terms of like, we're just following these two people throughout life and the romance that kind of comes with that as well. We're seeing them as real people with their own issues going on in their own heads, and we're seeing how they kind of like, it's not just, oh, they meet and they fall in love and happily ever after. It's like, no, they meet, lots of stuff happens along the way, this, obstacle, and that's kind of like how the story goes. So we have our main character Helen, which I really liked Helen. I felt like she was quite relatable in a lot of ways. A lot of the time, like, when we was delving deeper into her personality and her character as a whole, it talked a lot about how she struggles to kind of be herself in situations. She kind of overthinks things a lot. She thinks like, oh, well, if I'm myself, people might not like me, or if I'm doing this, then people won't like me, blah, blah, blah. Like, she always kind of thinks what she's doing isn't impressing people enough. And I feel like that's very relatable in a lot of ways. And also she kind of gets like a lot of anxiety over just being in social settings because she wants to just people please so much, you know? So that, I liked delving deeper into that because it felt like she was a very real character, a very raw and real character. Those are clearly two words that I'm loving describing this book with. And then we have our main male character, Grant, and he's kind of been like this all-American like hero in his high school. He was like prom king, everyone loved him, that kind of thing. He's very well liked. He's got this like natural charming element to his personality. He gets things very easily, and obviously on like contrasting with Helen, they're very different. Like, comparing them together, they're very different characters. So it's almost like opposites attract as well. She's kind of more like introverted, overthinking, and like anxious, and then he's more like everything comes naturally to him. He's very charming, he's prom king, he's like super handsome, that kind of thing. And seeing them both together is really unique and it was really interesting as well. And I also liked how we kind of saw a deeper side to Grant, because not only is he like this super charming guy, but he does have his like real person struggles as well. And it was nice to see like he's not just being made out to be this like buff dude who's like completely perfect. Like we also got the deeper element to his personality, and I liked that. I do get where the similarities come from as well with the Emily Henry thing. Like I do definitely, I can see these two having quite similar elements to their writing style. It does kind of read more almost like a literary fiction with a subplot of romance than like a super cheesy contemporary romance, that kind of thing. But overall, if you're looking for something that's going to take you by surprise and it's a little bit deeper, it's not just your everyday romance, we're following like something that feels very real, then I would definitely recommend this book. And it's nice and short as well, it's not too long, so it is a vibe. It is very much a vibe and I'm enjoying it. I really like this book. Yeah, I really highly recommend it. Definitely give it a go. Apologies for how bad the lighting was in that last clip. I didn't realise it was that bad. I've put my light on and hopefully it's a little bit better now. But yeah, I have finished the first book. I have already started the second book. I had every intention of reading Love and Other Words by Christina and Lauren, and I think this is two authors, Christina Lauren. I think it's two people. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I had every intention of actually going in with this one as like the other book for this video, because we got lime green, I think, and this like had the lime green. Ooh. Yeah, and I had every intention of reading it because, like I said, it's super popular. I've wanted to read it for ages. I feel like everyone knows this book, and then I just kind of thought, I'm feeling a small town slow burn Marianne as a parts book, and I picked the other one which we got, which was actually All Roads Lead Here. I think the colour was like honey and I just kind of took that as orange. Yeah, I would say this is very honey vibes. What would we think? What do we think? I think it's giving honey. So yeah, I've started this one, and when I say I've started it, I've been like super bad at picking up my camera this week, and I am actually 280 pages in. I'm over halfway through, but still, I feel like it's due an update, you know? Also, yesterday I was sat in my uni room right now, and I was shamelessly eating chocolate spread out of the jar, and all of a sudden, like my hand like knocked, and the spoon that had the chocolate spread on wiped against the pages of the book. I don't know if you can see. Can anyone see that? I have chocolate spread on the pages of my book. Yeah, it was a little bit soul destroying when I figured that out. I've tried to like wipe it off as best I can, but from now on, whenever I pick this book up, it will have chocolate spread on it. But yeah, I have read a big chunk of this book. I'm hoping to finish it in the next couple of days. And then this is going to be the final book for the video, because Marianne Zapata's books are quite literally bricks. Like, it's the brick. This could like knock someone out. I thought I'd pick it up because, like I said, it's been on my TBR for a hot minute. It's been like sitting on my TBR being like, please read me, please read me. And I just thought, yeah, okay, now's the time. I'll read you. So I picked it up. How many times am I going to say I picked it up? Girl, we know you've picked it up. But yeah, this is basically age gap, small town romance, and what we've got is the main female character. She's called Aurora. She basically is running from where she's been living. Like, she doesn't want to be there anymore. She hates it. She doesn't like her ex-husband. She doesn't like his family. She just wants to get away from that whole world that she's been living in. She's not happy. So she basically takes a really long road trip to get back to her home, like where she grew up as a child. I think it's Colorado. She basically does a big road trip all the way back there. And when she gets there, she's living in our main character's garage apartment. So he's like her landlord, and he is called, do we even know his name so far? He keeps being called like Mr. Rhodes. So I actually can't remember his like real name right now. But yeah, so she's staying in his apartment. There's been a bit of a mix-up, which I'll let you find out what's happened for yourselves. But there's been a bit of an awkward mix-up, and she was in a bit of a sticky situation, so we had to like go through that. And now we're just kind of following her as she's exploring her old hometown. She's exploring the hikes her mum used to do. She's kind of just trying to get back to her old self, like back to her roots, meet back up with old friends, that kind of thing. So she's basically trying to live in this town and make a life for herself. And so far, bear in mind, I am literally 280 pages in, like we're halfway through this book, not a speck of romance. Not a speck of romance so far. Not a speck. Like, we know that they're going to be the love interests, and we know that she's kind of attracted to him a little bit, but that's it. Like, we've had no little acts of like romance, of anything like that. That's how slow burn this book is. We're halfway through and we've still not got any romance. Literally no romance. And honestly, you'd think that that would be an issue, and it's not. Like, so far I am so invested in the small town itself, and I'm so invested in our main female characters, like character development and character growth, that I'm actually not too bothered that we've not had any romance. I can definitely live with it. I can live with it. It's not bothering me. But if you're someone who like does not like that much of a slow burn, then I would maybe sit this one out, because like I said, we're over halfway through, we're still not getting any romance at all. That's how slow burn it is. Also, another trope we have is he's super grumpy, he doesn't like anyone, he's like, don't speak to me, blah blah blah, and she's super like outgoing and she wants to be friends with him and everyone, and she's like, that's kind of the differences in personality. So he's like this big muscly mountain man who's super grumpy, doesn't want to talk to anyone, and I like that. Also, did I mention it is single dad? I can't remember if I said that or if I've just said that like 50 times and forgotten. Yeah, that is where we are so far. Like I said, no romance yet. I'll keep updating as I finish off this book. But so far, the colour wheel has chosen us some absolutely amazing reads. And honestly, without the colour wheel choosing the colour honey, I would have not picked this book up for a hot minute. It would have probably just sat on my TBR for a while because of the sheer size of it. Like, romance books to me should not be like more than 400 pages unless they're Boys of Tommen. But I can also forgive for Mariana Zapata. So I'm gonna go drink my Diet Pepsi and I'm gonna do some more reading, and I'll update tomorrow. This book, so I'll be back with you in like 2 seconds your time, maybe like 2-3 hours my time. But review is pending. 3, 2, 1. Awful transition time. I am back home for the weekend and I forgot my tripod, so I'm currently standing you up on 4 hardback books, and the angle is just not really angling. It could be better, but what can we do? I forgot it. Also, how cute is this jumper? I love like the back of it, and it's literally from H&M kids section. I think it was like £10. So if you, and this is like really like nice fit, you know. If you are like a short girly, check out the kids sections because it's so much cheaper, and they actually sometimes have some like quite cute basics that are like stretchy, so it's like not obviously tight or anything. And yeah, that's my top tip. That's my top tip as a 5-foot girl. However, that is besides the point. I have now finished All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata, and I am gonna rate it. I can't decide between like a 4-star or a 4.25 star or a 4.5 star. It's definitely not like a 5-star, but I just don't know where it ranges within the 4-star section. I will like pop it on the screen when I've kind of decided on that when I'm editing, but I'm just not sure because I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved the small town, I loved our main characters, like the main girl, Aurora. I really liked her. I felt like she was so full of life, she was so bubbly, so entertaining to read about, she was so nice and friendly, and although she was like dealing with her own struggles, she was just so nice to everyone. She never like made anyone feel bad because she felt bad, if you know what I mean. Like she was just like so full of life. Yeah, I think the only reason it wasn't like a 5-star read was because the entire first half just kind of felt like a literary fiction. It didn't really have much development between the two characters. It didn't really have much romance. It just kind of felt like we were just following literally the main girl. We didn't really know too much about Rhodes. We didn't really know like anything about him, to be honest. Like we kind of knew like a loose thing, but we really didn't get to know him at all until like over halfway. And for me, that is quite a lot of pages to read through without even getting like hardly a crumb. And I know that sometimes in slow burns we get like little tiny crumbs where you just like, oh, like this, wow, like this is like feeded into the slow burn and how much you want the characters to be together. But with this, I really didn't even feel like we had any crumbs, or if we did, there was like the tiniest little fleck of a crumb ever. And I think that for me, you know, when you pick up a romance, even if you are picking up a slow burn romance, you still want to be able to see the characters together. You still want to be able to see them like developing. We've got a visitor. She's saying hey. Okay, well, we're kind of doing a book review right now. Okay, bye. Yeah, so I think for me, when you are picking up a romance book, you do kind of go into it wanting a little bit more than that. And yes, fair enough, we did get it like past the halfway point, and that's when things picked up and it was really cute and I loved seeing them together. But I just think to read like I think it was like 280 pages without any of that, that's quite a lot of pages. But yeah, I think when we did get the crumb, like when the crumb started becoming more like bite-sized pieces and then slices and then whole cakes, that's when it was really good and it really picked up, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it because they are really cute together. And I loved the dynamic of like grumpy sunshine vibes. I loved that, you know, she also didn't really feed too much into the whole like age gap thing, because it didn't feel like a weird age gap. It wasn't like, you know, like sometimes when authors just make it really like the forefront of everything and it just feels really weird. It definitely didn't feel like that at all. It was just kind of like a passing thing that just happened to be between them. The whole like mountain scenery and everything like that I think would be perfect honestly to read at this time of year, because it's really cozy, it's really like scenic, it just makes you feel like you're in the small town. And I would say as well, there's lots of acts of service, which if you are a fan of that, then this is probably definitely the book for you, because I think that there was quite a few acts of service which was just really cute and heartwarming and sweet. All in all, I think if you are willing to sit through like half of a book of slow burn, if that's fine for you, if you don't really mind, if you're used to Mariana Zapata but you've just not read this book yet, then I would definitely say give it a go, because it does fly by. And I didn't, in the moment, like I wasn't too bothered about it. I was just kind of like, oh, I love the main character, I love seeing the town, all of this kind of stuff. And you are kind of sat on the edge of your seat waiting for the romance to happen. But then when I thought back, I was like, yeah, maybe just me personally, I do kind of want to see a little bit more sprinkled throughout, because it kind of felt like it was like nothing and then all of a sudden we just started getting like, you know. And I felt like if we'd have put maybe a few crumbs in the beginning, we could have like, it could have felt a bit smoother. I have noticed that she is bringing out different covers for her books. I think the other one that she's brought out is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. It's like these like cutesy bright colours with like the cartoons on them. I love them so much. Like this cover is so cute and I love the orange. Thank you Colour Generator for choosing this one, by the way. And also, if you have read any Mariana Zapata books and you just love them so much, please let me know which ones, because I don't really know which ones are like the like best ones that people say. I really enjoyed this one, highly recommend it. Really loved that it was like had that small town element, because I love a small town. But I would love to see what other books people love from her, because I've so far just read this one and From Luke Off With Love, but I have heard, I think, good things about, is it Culty and Wait For It, is that one? I think I've heard like quite good things about those two. So if you have read any, please let me know which ones so I can pick them up, add them to my TBR. This book also has made me want to go on like loads of scenic hikes in mountains, which is not available to me from where I live, but it's making me want to do like a hike, like get my walking boots on, get my backpack ready and go on like a scenic hike and go camping. If you know, you know about the camping thing. So cute, so cute. cute. I feel like I didn't really touch on the main character, Rhodes. I do really like him as a character. I think he's just like super grumpy, but then he's like one of those guys where super grumpy, but then to everyone but her, if you know what I mean. Like his exterior melts around her. He's like stone cold ice, and then he's sweet to her. Yeah. Also, I feel like finishing a Marianne's Parts book feels like such a feat. Like, is that the word? Feels like such a, you've overcome a challenge. I feel like I've hiked like this, like Aurora in this book. I feel like I've hiked to the finish line with finishing this book because it's such a chunky romance book. Like, honestly, I think over 500 pages for a romance book is usually quite crazy. But yeah, I'll leave my review on the screen because currently I'm between a 4, a 4.25 and a 4.5. It's going to be one of the three. It's going to be one of the three. I'm not sure which one yet. I'll put it on the screen. So that is the end of today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. We definitely got some great, I was going to say great and amazing at the same time then. We definitely got some amazing reads from this challenge. I honestly wouldn't have picked up either of these books if the colour wheel didn't tell me to. So I'm very glad that it chose them. If you have any videos you would like to see from me, please drop a comment, and also drop a comment if you have read any of these books before, if you enjoyed them, what your thoughts were, if you didn't like them. I'd love to know so we can like discuss and see what our thoughts were on these books. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.